So hopefully nothing will go wrong this time, but I will point out that I got this game in December, and with very few exceptions, every time I've tried to run this game, something bad has always happened with my PC. So in December, I had to send in my motherboard for repairs because there was a component blew off during cleaning. I guess it was a resistor or something, and the motherboard just failed to boot with the CPU installed. This is a completely new motherboard. I still have the old motherboard. It's in my living room in a media center. But last time I tried to stream this on Monday, I lost nearly an hour of streaming. I just failed to notice that wasn't transmitting at all. Uh, because for whatever reason my upstream was being throttled. And indeed, last night when I thought about streaming, my upstream was being throttled again, and I had to call it off. So my original plan to stream three times a week this week at least just didn't work out. I don't know why it's throttling. I don't know what's causing that. I don't think it did it on Monday. I'm not sure if it did it on Tuesday. I think I just didn't have the strength to do anything on Tuesday. So I have no idea what's causing this, and I'm assuming that if it's being done at the same time and it only lasts an hour, that it's some sort of update or maintenance that the cable company is doing. So I'm just going to avoid doing it at that time. But for now, I'm going to try once again to to actually do this stream. When I bought this game, this is not going to be a gameplay heavy stream. This is mostly going to be focused on technical stuff. Anyway, when I first bought this game, it had some issues. The machine that was running it was a motherboard that was I don't think the motherboard really made that much of a difference, but the processor it had was a 5800X. It had 32 gigabytes of RAM that were not yet overclocked. I think they were running at 2100. This is running at 3200 megahertz overclocked, 64 gigabytes of RAM, and it had a 3070 um, RTX. So the 3070 for now is still in the machine, but it's been upgraded to a what kind of processor do I have now? A 5950X because those were going for less than half price, and why not? And 64 gigabytes of low latency RAM. That's half of which I got before the pandemic, and after the and not too long ago, I got it for nearly half price. And it is pricey RAM, and it's kind of difficult to find. So hopefully these will last because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the replacements, and the timing on them is a little bit, and latency is a little bit rare. Anyway, but the video card is still the same. So, uh, I haven't actually noticed that much of a difference in performance. So before I installed the 3070, the 4090 that I have lying around, I thought about maybe just playing around with this for just a little bit. So for maybe the fourth or fifth time, let's try to do this stream. And I remember the game crashing the first time I tried to run it, so hopefully it won't do it this time. And we're having some progress. Did it crash? Yeah, it crashed. That's a great start. That's a great start for this game. I think part of the problem was that I transferred the. I've been installing large NVMe SSDs to replace the older 2.5 inch form factor SSDs that I've had for a while, just so I can start using NVMe PCI technology and move away from SATA. I still have some hard drives for storage. Anyway, let's get down to the game. There will be more hardware stuff being discussed here, but mainly what I want to figure out is what this game's problem is and whether or not the performance has improved. It seems to me like it's improved. The drivers are fairly recent, released at the end of June, so it was like 536.40, something like that. We have a Steam's FPS counter down here. So right now, everything is set to max as far as it can go. HDR, my monitors do not have HDR. They are fairly simple 2080p monitors that have served me well and possibly will continue to serve me well in one function or another. I have no intention of getting rid of tech that still works. I still have computers from the early 90s. I'm a little bit afraid of turning them on because I'm not sure whether the power supplies can handle it, and they kind of have they have auxiliary connectors which are no longer standard in power supplies, and I have no idea how to replace that. I've seen several sellers that sell specialized power supply with auxiliary connectors, but there's no telling whether they'll work, and I'm a little bit nervous about turning them on. I think the last time I turned them on was several years ago, and I didn't have any problems. But one of the computers is from 1996, and I think the other one is from 1992. And the 1992 one has always had a funny power supply. But anyway, everything is the same. A little difference that I've noticed that I still don't quite understand. There's run benchmark and test performance, and run benchmark seems to run it with unlocked FPS, while test performance keeps it to what the monitor is capable of, or whatever your settings are if you have vertical sync enabled. So test performance is basically vertical sync enabled as far as I can tell. So we're just going to use this for now and see how it goes. When I ran this, people complained that it was a little bit too overly optimistic, and this is where it usually slowed down. You can see the FPS drop a little bit. This is what I do not... the performance seems to be fine, but for whatever reasons, some of the features just seem to be a little bit strange. Like some of the reflections, some of the textures, particularly blood textures, and I'll show you what I mean later. Some light effects seem to be behaving rather oddly, like this one. It's not as bad on the stream. It does act strangely on my monitor. And as you see, we have pretty decent performance, 59.22. You can't really get much better than that. And indeed, if we go into the game, and I don't remember that sound being there, I think they just sort of added that. So it looks pretty good, for the most part. First glance, it looks great. I remember for some reason this part always causing a minor slowdown, and this part causing quite a bit of a slowdown, and you can see it consistently go down 3 FPS before recovering. And I can't remember this guy's name. I think it's Connor. We'll call him Connor for now. The thing I don't like about these effects is look at this hair. I mean, at first glance it looks fine, but just the way it glistens and just the it looks like it's updating what it's doing, and it wouldn't change this dramatically, and I think it has to do with the FPS of the monitor. A lot of the issues I'm having seem to be related to what the monitor is doing. Because again, it doesn't look quite as bad on stream. But just his hair looks a little bit wireframed, and it just looks strange, and the shadows... The shadow... I never noticed that before. It's just every time... Do you see what the shadows are doing? Every time I play with this game, I see something new that's strange. But the shadows change every time I change the model, and it's not him turning his head. They changed immediately. But yeah, the shadows seem a little cell shaded, and this is the weirdest part. You see it drops, shine a light, it goes away. You look closely; those shadows look a little bit broken up. Again, I have no idea what does this, and this is the biggest problem I have with the textures. Is this right here? This blood spatter, you can see how it's texturizing and breaking up. I can see it happening on the stream as well. So it's not just my imagination. But also this. You see how long it takes the effects of the light to go away, and some of the texture actually disappears when you shine a light on it. I don't understand. And this is not a rare texture. This blood spatter is everywhere, and no matter what the wall or the texture is, it does this. It's with every single one. This that probably should have killed Connor, but we're not going to complain too hard about it. What did I just step on? Oh, oh. Pick up some health. This fire is also a strange decision. It looks like a GIF, but not really. Like, it looks like a video. Just the fact that it acts differently than everything else, it just looks like a... I would think that this pressurized container would have exploded by now. Not really sure why there's fire here, or why there isn't any fire suppression. I know this is supposed to be a dismal, This is supposed to be a dismal prison, but it just seems like they would at least have fire suppression. I'm gonna be right back, and we're gonna continue dissecting this game, but I feel like that's a good taste. I'll be right back in just Alright, I'm back. So back to the complaining. So anyway, the purpose of this stream really is to just examine some of the effects and just playing around and just showing how strange the graphics in this game really are. So there's really nothing interesting here. Most of what I'm going to be playing around with is stuff right here. Effects really don't... Actually, I don't think I've ever played with film grain, and this is something that kind of caught me off guard, was holding down the apply key to make something work a certain way. That's not something I was expecting. Let me see if dousing the film grain changes anything. And if you turn off ray tracing, you won't be able to see reflections like this. They'll just look really strange, and I'll show you that in a moment. Nope. Turning off the film grain did nothing for that. And our friend Cole or Connor kind of has... I honestly don't notice the film grain all that much. Another strange thing you'll notice is that this corpse, the condition of corpses seems to vary. I don't know how this man got into this position. But sometimes he has an intact head, sometimes he has another arm. Just really, really strange. Okay, we're turning that back on. Disable screen reflections, physical refractions, and ray tracing. We don't want to do that just yet, but we will turn off ray trace shadows and everything else related to ray tracing, which is usually what on cards with less VRAM tend to struggle, cause them to struggle. And with a 3070, it only has 8 gigabytes, and which is a shame because I've seen a modded 3070 with 16 gigabytes VRAM. They just replaced the that's not what it, the one gigabyte VRAM chips with 2 gigabyte VRAM chips. So anyway, this is without ray tracing, and at first glance it looks roughly the same. These are still screwed up. And then you go up to a reflective space, and the light is still okay, but as you see, Cole's reflection is a little bit strange. As you see, it's kind of a sort of a hall of mirrors effect. I don't know exactly what to call it, but it's like it's being rendered across layers, which is not what we want. Effects are about the same. Physics are not really changed in any way. As I said, that's still screwed up. However, if I remember correctly, actually this looks a little worse. I think it was actually lighting. I was going to make a comment about his hair looking better, but we'll change that in just a moment. See options, graphics, lighting. Turn this back on. Apply that. We're gonna turn off lighting now. And see what happens. so we have our normal good reflections back. That's still fuzzy. For some, it's like this blood texture is supposed to be like a shadow, because the shadows do the same thing. They disappear when you shine the light on them, but they have the same grainy outline as this blood. And I'm wondering if they just recycled the shadow textures for the blood textures. I don't even know how they did it. It's just a lot of the things that were done in this game is kind of a mystery. I mean, it's not as bad as the War Z, where they... So, the way things were done in video games before engines became a little bit more sophisticated and hardware became better, is they would just, if you have a mirror or something, they would just re-render it. And in the War Z, you can look this up. You can look at Total Halibut's video of the War Z. You can see at one point he's standing next to a river, and the sign across the stream is being re-rendered, but it's being re-rendered from the perspective of the character model. So it covers the entire stream, and it's just very, very... It looks extremely strange. Anyway, it looks like lighting did not improve the situation all that much. I can never remember what exactly was causing this. Turn that back to high, and we're gonna shut down shadows. And I haven't played any of the new modes. I haven't even gone through the main campaign, and I'm thinking about just restarting it at this point. Because it's been since December. Get... Oh my god. Why is it always something new with this game? Look at this. Wait, I just... You know what I just realized? He doesn't... Okay, I think that's his flashlight. What is going on? What is this? I thought it was his flashlight. Is the white reflection the camera? I don't think it's the camera, but I can't explain what else it could possibly be. That's still fun. I will say that the game is fun, but it just... So the game itself is perfectly adequate as far as I've played it. I haven't played that far. I've only played to the basement. I don't think I've fought a single boss. I'm assuming it's that the rest of the game is like Dead Space. And I honestly miss my pickaxe. Hopefully my volume levels are not, from my mic, are not too loud. I haven't done this in a while. I'm trying to adjust as needed. The game, to me, is perfectly adequate, but they're just the technical decisions that were involved are just absolutely strange, and we still have the wiry, the steel wire reflection facial hair, which, if if you have facial hair, it kind of does feel that way sometimes. Some people love to have facial hair. I most definitely am not one of those people. It's fun to have the option, but it itches so badly. I don't know how some people do it. I have no idea how people can have a... how some people cannot take care of it at all, just out of laziness. Not if they have depression or anything like that and they can't look after themselves, but it just if they have if they're just lazy, because even if you're lazy, it has to be driving you insane. So now we're going to try without volumetrics. I want to figure out what is causing that hair issue. Every time I'm kind of happy that stream didn't work out, because I would have never noticed this. That's so funny. It's just the texture of his skin and everything else just looks strange. And now his eyes look strange again. I think when I turned down the lighting, his eyes turned this dead brown. He's like that ageless serial killer from the X-Files that tortures Mulder. I can't remember the name of the episode. But he had some sort of surgery done where he could not die. Okay. Oh, now it looks even worse. It seems to be more... It seems to be more stable when you have the gun out, but when Cole puts away the gun, which he does automatically at one point, it just seems to just do whatever it wants. But it's still messed up. Hair is a little better, but that's not what we're looking for. Oh. Play with physical physical refractions. Well, we start off with a lot of pop-in, no discernible difference in much of anything, really. Still messed up. There's like a distortion around his model. Look at that. The game can't decide what to render. It's not as bad on the stream, from as far as I could tell, but you can definitely tell how there's like this distortion field around him where the game is struggling to figure out what it's supposed to be rendering. And the funny thing is that my 3070 isn't even struggling that much. I wish there was more debris. It would have been cooler if there was more debris from something like that and you could break things. But right now it's mostly thick plastic unbreakable containers. They're unbreakable, but for some reason they can't hurt creatures. I guess there's not enough mass being accelerated. All right, we'll enable that back. Let's. This is the more interesting thing that we're going to be playing with. I think. Let's see. The super sampling. Actually, let's switch to medium mesh and see what that does. I just want to see how it looks, if it looks any different or what happens. Something fell over. This. I don't know why, but for some reason this is funny. Oh, the distortion is even worse. And our friends Cole or Connor. That's what my workplace used to sound like. That doesn't changing the mesh doesn't really seem to do much of anything. You know what? I think it might be the filter. Let's see if that does anything. Just as a joke, I installed Windows 11. I built computers. I kind of a side hustle that I have, and I just for as a joke, I installed Windows 11 on a hard drive. It's completely unplayable, unusable. It sounds like a Geiger counter. The entire time it sounded like a Geiger counter. And it was unbelievably slow, and Windows installation took so long. SSDs, even if you have a SATA interface SSD, is considerably just so much faster. Okay, that was actually a cool effect. Now, yeah, he still looks like his beard has glitter in it. His hair looks better, but the beard still looks like it has glitter stuck in it. I think, yeah, I think it might be. I think it might be the upscaling. So let's see if disabling it does anything. I do remember that the performance became really, really bad without the upscaling, and already you can see the drop. It's already about 7 to 10 FPS lower. Still looks great. Whatever this light is, which I suspect is the camera, it's either the camera or it's the it's like the texture is not. It's like the texture is not keeping up or something. Get some water real quick. There, now I can speak longer. New CPU is nice and toasty after having sat on my table for months and probably sat at the store for even longer. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Ironically, without upscaling, the distortion is still there when you walk around, but it seems like this texture in particular is more solid. I mean, you could see that it reacts more starkly, but it just seems more solid, like it has glisten to it, which is what I assume it's supposed to have. This, strands of flesh just hanging out. Shadows still look pretty messed up. And we get a pretty major FPS drop. It looks like it's as high as 12. But one thing I noticed is that Cole's, I keep calling him Cole now, I'm pretty sure it's Connor. It almost seems like his sweat is more detailed. The shadows still look strange, but there's more detail on the texture of his face. There's more, his beard looks... some of the reflections are still strange, but it looks better. The top of his hair looks great. There was also this very strange thing that I recall occurring. Now I'm starting to get dropped frames, I'm not sure what that's about. But there used to be this, there's this thing that happened last stream that caused the GPU to completely freak out. And it's when I did this multiple times. So the FPS would suddenly drop. I want to see if I can replicate it. I can't. Do it with a different bloodstain? That's not doing much, but it's definitely running worse. Alright. It's definitely taxing it, and the GPU fans have actually kicked on, which is very, very rare for me. Also seems, even though it says 60 FPS, it always seems like this title screen is lagging a bit. Okay, let's apply temporal upscaling and see what kind of results we get there. This is about the length of the original video, so I might stop soon. We have a lot worse texture pop in. We still have this funky camera. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. This thing on his lapel, which is not on right now, is supposed to be a little light. And indeed, you see a light, but you don't see anything from here. Like, it's not shining in your face, which I guess they didn't know how to do coronas. And you see the light go to his side, which it should, because that's... Wait. Wait. I don't even know how to explain that. There's something I did that caused the game to absolutely freak out and slow down to single-digit FPS, and I can't remember what it was. Okay, how does temporal look? that. What's the secret formula? Seriously, it honestly looks better without the upscaling. It runs absolutely horrific, but it looks much better without the upscaling. These bloodstains, I don't... It's the one thing that bothers me. I don't know why. It's just... I don't... I kind of want to get an AMD card and install it and see if it's different with an AMD card. I'm just curious at this point. Alright, what other cool stuff can I mess with? I think I also messed with this, and I can't remember what effect it had. Oh, Connor, what's wrong with your... There's just so much text... Connor, you have too much texture on your face. You look like you made of plastiline. Well, that was worth it. There's and what's strange is that it's only the character model. Look at it. It's hard to describe. It's like it's on some sort of patchwork fabric that that some of the fabric absorbed the blood better than other portions. So you kind of have this patchwork blood effect. It's kind of like cross-hatched. I don't know that much about textures in game. I mean, I made some and I played around with some, but this was years ago. This was in the 2000s. Things are a little different now. Alright, let's see what this does. I mean, what are the chances that something bad will happen? Well, already I'm seeing a marked difference in how things look. Oh my god, the blood is almost rendering properly. Look at this. We finally did it. I mean, it's still freaking out a little bit, but it actually looks the way it's supposed to look. Look! Oh, Connor's hair is kind of freaking out a little bit. Connor's hair looks like static, but Actually, all of him looks like static. Actually, everything looks like static. So yeah, this is your choice. This is your choice. You can either have the blood textures look at this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is how it's supposed to look. Okay, we figured out what's wrong with the blood textures. We've made major progress. Where is it? Let's turn it off completely. I await with trepidation to see what I'm going to see. Okay, once again a lot more jaggy. Still really weird looking. I don't know what you're talking about. We still have ray tracing, kind of. It's just the sharpness of the image actually kind of makes it look better. Like, you can kind of see some pixelization on the edge, but I personally think it looks better. It's just this game doesn't seem to do soft shadow. Look at it, it does do soft shadows. It does know how to use soft shadows. Like, these look great. Let me see. Yeah. Like, it has a little bit of variability on the edges, but this is the best looking shadow I've seen in the game. Usually shadows I see look really jagged. I mean, there's glisten, but at least the texture shows up properly. Performance isn't terrible either. It's the anti-aliasing with... Oh, whoa, we have to see Connor. We have to see what Connor looks like. That's even more static you have there, and your face looks a little strange. But I think that can be remedied. I think that can be remedied by fixing the light a little bit. So, anti-aliasing. So yeah, the ray tracing is just gone now. So we're going to turn off the lighting and see how it looks. And I think in some cases I prefer to play on full settings, but sometimes the settings are broken. They're most definitely broken in this game. Yeah, that doesn't do anything with that. The lighting looks even worse. Or the lighting makes the glisten even worse. But it runs great. It runs great. This is the best it's run, but look how everything has a shiny edge to it. Something's happened to Connor's eyes. Oh man, look at that beard. You think if we take more away, that's going to look better? You think sometimes we can... It does. We're almost getting the blood stains to work properly. Hour by hour, we are closer to fruition. What does your face look like? It looks like somebody drew your facial hair on with crayon. That's what it looks like. It looks like your facial hair is drawn on with crayon. I've heard of additive testing. I don't think that subtractive testing is a thing. Looks a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Just freaking out a little bit. Right now, I'm interested in his hair, and I'm interested in these bloodstains. That's all I'm interested in. I'm not sure how it'd be shiny and glistening on the fabric. I would think that it's more shiny and glistening on here, but blood dries pretty quickly. He still doesn't have a head. I figured there'd be at least one time when he would have a head. Okay, let's turn off the last option. After that, I think I'll turn on the, start turning things back on. Well, we still have reflections. Oddly enough, the reflection still looks fine. It's just everything... The reflection looks fine. Let's start turning things back on. Also, just notice that my mouse can go off the screen. Okay, let's turn on FXAA and see what happens. Hopefully something interesting. It somehow looks better and worse. I'm not sure how to describe it. What does that do with this? It brings back ray tracing, but I don't want to bring back ray tracing yet. We're gonna keep ray traced shadows in. Okay, the reflection is all messed up. We've broken the blood texture again. Connor looks much better. In fact, I'd say that apart from his weird eyes, his weird kind of bleached out eyes, I think this is the best we've seen of him. Yeah, so essentially this is the game. See what happens with it looks like without the transmission. It's amazing how much in this one room, just how much this game's very bizarre features, or rather, how much of these features are broken. Graphical features. I've never seen so many things look so good and so bad at the same time. Let me just see something again. Let's see, we're gonna max out temporal aliasing, we're gonna enable everything. Change that. Can't go beyond 100. I'm going to turn off upscaling completely. Just see this again. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that upscaling and the ray tracing are a detriment for this game. Ironically enough. These are the highest settings I can get for this game. And make it not have, I guess, have as many features visible. It really, really, really hates this texture. The game absolutely has... The game's engine has absolutely no idea what to do with it. What was this programmed in? I want to see what the engine for this was. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's C++. The Callisto protocol engine. It uses Unreal Engine 4? I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they made the. I mean, I realize that part of this is just the rendering capacity of the hardware I have. But I'm surprised that it looks. Yeah, I guess this is it. This is entirely on the studio. They just had no idea. They had no idea what they were doing or something. Try that again. I remember seeing benchmarks that said that it didn't have much an effect on performance. But I'm definitely seeing an effect on just the quality. It looks a little bit more broken. with any type of upscaling. I'm willing to bet it's the same thing with his hair. No? Am I standing in the same position? No, everything looks normal now. That's normal. Everything there is on. That's on. That's normal. Again, I'm wondering if it would be different if it was on an AMD card. I do have an AMD card, but I don't know if I should install it. I was just messing with drivers. Plus, it has 24. It needs 24 pins. It's a little bit of a pain. Oh, it's totally messed up. Hair doesn't seem to look as bad. Nope, we have the steel wire glitter is back. It's not as bad as it was, but it's pretty bad. Well, let's see. Let's try a different version of DirectX. Although I vaguely remember doing this before, and it did not have a. It did not have a desired effect. Played this for over 9 hours. I think most of it was just dicking around with the settings. I do not want to go into work tonight. I just want to play around with this all day and then go to sleep. Well, that's different. I suppose it makes sense. Anyway, back to the Windows installation thing. I don't think hard drives are viable anymore for use in just common usage. They're great for storage. I still think they're great for storage. If you have a backup, it'll probably last quite a while. Because hard drives do not require that you power them on once in a while to have any information on them, which is not the case with solid state drives. I believe I did have a solid state drive that I left that's I didn't touch for a year, and all the data on it was gone. So that is not the issue with hard drives. And obviously, if you're going to be doing strictly classical gaming and you don't want to use an insertable flash card that tricks the computer into thinking that it has a hard drive when it has flash memory, and you just want to have the nostalgia of the Geiger counter, then that is the way to do it. But I want to see if it's different for DirectX 11, because DirectX 12 sometimes it acts strangely. In most cases it's fine, but I think I'll have a different effect. Anyway, I don't think we're at the point where NVMe is going to push out SATA hard drives or SATA solid state drives. I do think that if there is something that's going to dislodge them, it's going to be some sort of newer storage technology. Hopefully, one that's less volatile and doesn't require power. Because ultimately, that is the one good thing about hard drives, in comparison to solid-state drives, is that they have more points of failure. I believe they're hotter, they're noisier, they're slower, but they're more reliable if you just leave them alone, and they're probably not going to break if you keep them in a safe environment. Only have 236 dropped frames out of it's less than a fraction of a percent. It's 0.1% loss, which is much better than last time. I tested my connection several times before doing this stream. Oh, it's speeding up now. Hopefully we'll see some differences. Yes, check your entitlements. Let's see how it looks in DirectX 11. Well, it runs a lot worse in DirectX 11, I'll tell you that. It'll have this funny thing, whatever it is. Did not fix the blood at all. Anything, it looks like it made it considerably worse. Oh, you know what time it is. We've figured out what's causing the main problem, so let's turn off upscaling. Since that seems to be the culprit in most oh, that's strange. It actually seems to run better without the upscaling. Well, it looks better without the upscaling, but it looks considerably more messed up in DirectX 11. And Connor... I don't know, it's just something... You know what, his character model looks fine. I'm satisfied with the way the character model looks. I'm fairly satisfied with most of the shadows. Actually, that shadow looks great now. It's this texture. It's this texture that never works properly. The glisten seems to work much better. As if we go to temporal... I think this will be the last test that I'm going to do. Of course. So far it looks fine. Just AMD FSR just messes up everything. It still has that pop-in going on where it... You can see the pixelation. And some of the shadows on his face look a little bit worse. It just seems like the upscaling... It just seems like the upscaling is not... is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Well, that's really all I can. That's really all I can do with this. I don't know. I really don't know. Do I have an extra cable around here? No, it's really strange that the what do I have? It's the 76 XT. It's really strange that that requires more power than this. Oh, it looks like I technically can. I have an extra cable just hanging around. I kind of want to. I kind of want to try it. I'm really tempted to do so. I'll read up about it. I might just install the 1490 and see how whether it behaves differently. I think this is really all I wanted to this is all I wanted to check here. Mostly I just wanted to just display how bizarre the graphics are with this game. Uh-oh, we're losing frames again, so I'm going to stop it right here.